please welcome my guest today, Pumpino.
Hello!
You tricked me! Oh, we had this set up before we went live, and Pumpino was acting all innocent with, normal model, just normal style. And don't get me wrong, I've seen the hot dog skin before. I've seen it before. But you set that up in the past minute or something before. Like, while I wasn't looking. Oh, gosh. Well, we're off to a fantastic start.
Everybody.
Please welcome Hot Dog VTuber Pumpino to the show. Yes.
Let's go!
Oh, dear. Let's go indeed.
Hello, my name is Hot Dogino.
Sausagino, yes.
Plushies. Actually,
Yeah.
I have a fan art of me as a sausage.
Oh my gosh, I've never actually seen
I
that
got
one.
it, like months ago.
Oh, wow.
What?
I've never actually seen that one.
I got a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, well, you are saying that you're coming in a little bit soft pumpy. So
No.
we're on the same channel here, so not sure if that's going to be you getting closer to your microphone or possibly increasing your gain a tiny bit.
Okay. Is this any better?
Definitely sounds better to me. Zephronard, let us know how that's all sounding. And thank you for the heads up there for sure. But yes, for those who might not be familiar with you, if you could introduce yourself, Pumpy.
My name is Pumpino, and I am a scarecrow. I'm not a pumpkin, but I do have a pumpkin head, but it's very dead. And I am I currently I stream art and League of Legends on my channel, and every so often I will play other games. And I'm looking to do more game challenges stuff in the future.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember. I don't actually recall exactly how I found you, but I found you a while back, and just you've got such a unique design and such a fun style, really good BGM that we're actually using your BGM here today. Wonderful electro swing arrangement, and I was so excited when you said that you'd be interested in being on the show because just a great personality, and also it's October. It is your season. It is your time. So it all lined up very, very nicely.
Heck yeah,
So-
I'm excited. I love October so much.
Yes. So, like you mentioned, you play a fair bit of League of Legends. Now, I played League a tiny bit several years back, and I followed the professional scene a little bit. I know you're not really in with the professional scene. Oh, Noel Gumboy VT, thank you so much for the raid.
Hey, Noi!
Yes, we actually just started. You came in at a wonderful time. I'm talking with Pumpino, and we are actually just getting the ball rolling with some League of Legends talk because, as you mentioned, that is one of the games that you primarily play on your channel. Do you have any favorite champions?
Yes. Akali, Ulia, and I've actually really been enjoying Vex, but the Vex is like a 50-50. I have to play her more. She just recently came out.
Now, Akali is... I'm having to double check these because, like I said, I haven't played in a while.
Okay.
She is an assassin type, I believe?
Yes, she's an assassin and she plays mid.
So, is that generally your style for as a whole, that you like mid laning and more assassin type characters, or do you hop around and go into different roles there?
I guess Lilia. I guess Lilia is not very much of an assassin, so Lilia kind of breaks it. But typically, I really like assassins. I love being able to die in one hit. I don't. There's just something so thrilling about like putting out maximum damage, but like also you can die if someone sneezes on you. I love
Yeah,
that.
being a glass cannon.
Yes, glass cannon. So typically glass cannons are what I really like. Lilia again kind of breaks that. She's not a glass cannon. But I don't know. There's something I really like how fast she goes, and she's also a deer person, and I'm really into that.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that obviously nature is a big thing for you in general, so that definitely makes sense where you would like that sort of flavoring for your characters. Yes. Any particularly fun stories from recent matches? Any really good team kills or maybe just missed kills?
So recently I've been just playing ARAMs because I'm not typically League of Legends is a very salty community, and I'm not salty. Maybe I would be like a little bit if I played ranked, but I don't play ranked, so I'm not too into that scene. So I was kind of worried if I like play draft, I'd be like my teammates would be a little salty and stuff, and it would just bring the stream down. So I was like, okay, if I ever play draft, it's only gonna be with 5 stacks. So I've only been playing ARAM because it's a lot more relaxed. And there's this one ARAM. I usually play ARAM with my viewers. Somehow we always end up in a 5 stack, and I'm like, holy crap, how? Like, oh, people. But then there's this one person named Lynn. Oh my gosh, yes, Lindsay. Although they're like a platinum player, so I'm not surprised they did so well. Yeah, they're platinum, so I was like, oh shit, like don't perceive me. But we were kind of losing. We had their team was like kind of winning, hard time winning against us, and we were just about to lose. Like we were 5 seconds from losing. I'm like, oh man, well at least we won the last one, and then suddenly victory, and it was like, wait, what the fuck? And what happened is that Lynn hid in a bush and then backdoored them, and literally
yeah, I was about to say, wait a minute, so did she just sneak
losing.
into the enemy base and like snipe the nexus while they were all away at your nexus?
Yes, they were like 2 auto hits away from winning.
Oh my
On our
gosh.
nexus. It was crazy.
Oh, love games like that. That's so much fun to watch.
And the crazy part is that we had like a massive team fight, and I wasn't really paying attention to who was dead and who wasn't. So I thought Lynn was also dead.
Oh wow. Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun. Of just like it feels almost like a movie or a cartoon of like, wait a minute, I thought you were dead. No, I was at the enemy nexus the whole time.
You fool.
Ha ha. Oh, that's so fun. That's so good. Yeah. Nah. See, so is it Nol or Noli? Want to make sure that I get that pronunciation correct for Gunboy VT.
I think it's Noi.
Noi.
I say Noi.
Oh yes,
but
Noi.
I never actually asked. So
Oh yeah, no.
maybe I'm
Sorry,
wrong.
I was glancing at it real fast, and the I look like an elder me. Noi, I think. Do correct us in the chat, Gunboy. But yeah, it seems that they were there for that as well. And Crowfit for sure. So yes, that's super fun. Do you have any champions that you wish you could get good at, but haven't had the time to really train up with yet?
Probably Irelia. Okay, so because Noi is like the first Irelia player that's not salty. I really enjoy Irelia. She's really fun, but she's a Malay character, and not a glass cannon. I feel like all of my trading in League has gone to glass cannoning, so when I play anything else, it doesn't work out that well. I play too safe, and then I don't do enough damage, and it was like, but probably Irelia. I love Irelia. I love her kit so much. She's so cool. She's so cool.
That's super fun. Yeah. And, like I said, it's been a long time since I've played League, but it's still one that I enjoy watching. That it's always reminded me of sort of American football. It's a very technical game that you can see that even if you don't understand all the technical aspects, even if you don't know builds, if you don't know items or all the specific tactics, that it's very easy to watch because you can see, all right, who's going up and down the map. You know, you can tell when a turret's been destroyed or when someone gets the dragon. Those types of things are very easy as a viewer to understand. And, you know, like, all right, I can tell that, all right, one team has gotten all of the turrets and just won a team fight, that they're winning, and that's still exciting, even if I don't understand, that hit or like a particular sequence or team fight. If I don't understand in a technical sense, it's still something that I can really get as a viewer. And I think that's one of the reasons why League of Legends wound up becoming so popular as an esport, because it was that accessible for viewers.
Yeah, they did an absolutely amazing job. Like especially when you compare it to other MOBAs, especially Dota 2, which was like its biggest competitor for a while, but now Dota 2 is just trash. Which is funny to say because Dota 2 will always have a really big place in my heart because it's the first MOBA I played. I played it for 2 years, and I racked up 2,000 hours on that MOBA.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I dropped it for League, and I'm really happy I did because I don't think Dota 2 went in a very good direction. But yeah, I think the way that they've handled esports has given them so much room for growth through how much money they've gotten from it, and I think they've.
Yeah, because I know the international. I don't know.
like
I never watched the international, but I always hear about the international and its absurdly huge prize purse.
The only thing I really know about the international is the songs they put out. They're so good.
Yeah, and League of Legends says the same, that the one theme song for Worlds that I just have this very vivid memory of because it's when I was really watching it, which is as strange it is to say, like 6-7 years ago. They had Imagine Dragons do a song. It was called Warrior, I believe. And I remember like seeing the premiere for that, and I had that song on repeat for like a good week. And even now, it's still a good one. It's like, it's not a deep song or anything. Yeah. It's got some very simplistic lyrics, but it sounds good. That the chords and everything, and just the overall sound of it it's a very hype song. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I definitely like Warriors too. I would definitely have to say that probably I think my favorite is Rise. I think Rise is from 2019. And then my second favorite would probably be Warrior. But I think Warrior might not have been as impactful to me because I wasn't playing League at the time when it was released.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and I think the fact that Rise came out while I was playing is a little more impactful.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes for, you know, most types of fandoms, that anything that's coming out while you're actively following because you feel more invested and you have a bigger memory of its release and like the community reaction and all that. So that makes perfect sense.
And oh yes, and of course KDA and Pentakill. I love both of those bands.
Yeah.
So good.
Or KDA, like KDA is not quite VTubers, but it feels like they're like half predecessor to VTubers in some ways.
What do you mean?
That, you know, they are these characters that are sort of personalities, that they're the people who are doing these songs, but that the characters of KDA are avatars for the actual performers.
I don't think that's how League spins it. I'm pretty sure that they're supposed to be like the actual people.
Oh, okay. All right, I didn't realize that it was branded specifically that way, but you're right in that case. Yeah, that would be different. Still neat though. That KDA, I think, is
supposed to be like the people in the League universe. It's like an alternate universe.
Gotcha. Either way, they are very good.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't say that they are, because, you know, Pentakill didn't get as much attention as KDA, but I think it's just simply due to marketing. K-pop marketing is very easy to market.
Yes, yeah. K-pop fans are very, very passionate people.
Especially since they got like K-pop voices.
Yeah.
it was really easy to market.
Plus, when you have, your debut single be something that's as good as Pop Stars, that
Oh
it
yeah.
definitely helps. That naturally, you always want your debut single to be as good as it can be, but Pop Stars just really hit well.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
That
It was
it
so
had
good.
the sound and the visuals for the music video were incredible with, just all the blacklight neon colors and everything. That it was very clear that a lot of work and effort went into the production of all of that.
Mhm.
Now, outside of League of Legends, you mentioned that some of your favorite games are nonary games, which is a specific series
Oh.
with a psychological / sort of, death game type of spin. So very different from League of Legends. And this is another one that I'm not super familiar with. That I've seen the name around, and one of my past guests spoke about them a little bit. But if you could please educate me and anyone else in the chat who might not be familiar with them, what are the nonary games?
Well, so the nonary games are a collection of visual novels. Visual novels that also have puzzle elements to them. So it's a more interactive visual novel than I feel like typical visual novels are. And there's three series inside of the nonary games, and they're like all together. And it's basically like the concept is like killing games. So each series is set place in a killing game, kind of like Danganronpa, or the more popular one now, Squid Game.
Squid Game, which has been everywhere the past couple weeks.
It's so good. It is good. Squid Game is good. I'm not surprised. The production value on Squid Game is like a movie. It's dumb. It's dumb.
I
how
haven't
it's
seen
a
it
TV
yet.
show.
I'm probably gonna see it. And the popularity of Squid Game, I suppose, to take a tangent for a moment, I think it gives me hope that more people are gonna, get into some anime death games, which, we're gonna talk anime later because you and I, Pumpy, are big anime fans, so we will get there. But I feel like death games are something that you had the Hunger Games, which were very big in pop culture a couple years ago, but death games have been a thing. And this isn't to say that anime or Japanese culture invented death games, but they've been a much more consistent theme, I suppose, in Japanese media over the years. Just, going as far back as there's Battle Royale, there's Danganronpa, there's usually a death game or two per year in anime. So for people who are familiar with that, I suppose Squid Game on the surface isn't quite as remarkable, and it sort of makes me think, all right, maybe that's how we get more people into anime, of just if you like Squid Game, to recommend to your friends who like Squid Game but don't watch anime, suggest Danganronpa or suggest a death game anime and use that as sort of the bridge and the gateway to get them in, because once, they have sort of that entry point, maybe they'll start exploring anime as a whole more.
I mean, to touch upon the whole, like, they're not inventing anything new, I think when it comes to media that I really enjoy, I think typically I enjoy things that have already been done.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
think
feel like
I've really...
everything's been done before to an extent.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of times when something's been done a lot and somebody is able to make something really good off of it, it's like it's like completely ironed out, I guess.
Yeah, that being able to refine a concept over time of
Yes.
that it doesn't need to be new, and I completely agree, and that seems to be the case very much for Squid Game, that that it is something that has learned from death game series of the past and really honed its craft and its style and everything, that even as someone who hasn't seen it, that like the poppy pink and neon colors definitely grab you, and like that's something that you usually don't see in a death game because it's usually a darker thing, unless Danganronpa obviously has its iconic pink blood, but that's not the same. But anyways, yeah, definitely need to get around to that one. So back to the nonary games. So I suppose first off, are they a linear series or are they a set of unrelated games?
A linear series. You
Mhm.
definitely 100% to enjoy the entire storyline because it's very like if you're somebody who really likes like psychoanalyzing things, you will love the story. The story will reward you for being invested and reading into everything that the characters are doing through the entire uh collection of games.
Okay, that's cool. I
I
love
I
series that give you that type of emotional payoff.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, I now that I'm actually thinking about it, the reason that I probably have heard the Nonary games mentioned a couple times before is I'm a big fan of a couple other visual novel sort of puzzle games, the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series and the Professor
It's
Layton series.
so good.
Yeah,
I
that
love
between that and Professor Layton, that I think that's also where I've heard the Nonary games brought up that people have recommended it to me because they're definitely not the same. Nonary games definitely sounds a lot more intense than the particularly cartoony and generally upbeat
No, names
Phoenix
are
Wright and
very
Layton,
intense.
but yeah, definitely something that I'll have to hopefully be able to check out sooner or later. Do you have any favorite puzzles that you're able to share from those games without too many spoilers, or are they all, too interwoven to really talk about without big spoilers?
Mm, I think the biggest challenge is, do I remember any of the
That's fair. That's fair.
puzzles? Yuppie.
Well, I suppose
Yeah,
in that case, I'll switch the question up a bit. Who are your favorite character or characters from Nonary games?
oh, man, that gets complicated too. It's a really fucked up story. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like when you play all three of the games, holy fuck, it just blows your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in the second, so in like Danganronpa, I think, because I think way more people know about Danganronpa than the Nonary games. In Danganronpa, there's like the mascot, the bear mascot.
Oh yeah, Mono Bear / Monokuma.
Yes, in the second one called Virtue's Last Reward, I think. Yeah, I think it's called Virtue's Last Reward, which is the second game in the series. There is a mascot in there as well, and it's like in the shape of a rabbit, a white rabbit. I think from Japanese culture.
Mm.
Yeah. I really liked him. I liked him a lot. Hold up. Let me
Looking up
look
the
at
the name and everything.
characters.
Yeah. Well, while you're looking that up, a fun bit of trivia that I found out that apparently the voice of Monokuma in Danganronpa is the Japanese voice actor for Winnie the Pooh.
Yo,
So it is
that's
this other,
awesome.
just super famous bear character, but they couldn't be more different. Of Winnie the Pooh is just the epitome of innocence, innocence,
Uh-huh.
happiness, childhood whimsy, and then imagine just as a teen or an adult going to play this game and hearing the voice of this childhood character that you know and love as this monstrous, murderous, once again, bear, but just those two very different contexts with a similar voice. And I think that's a super fun thing that they did in terms of casting.
Heck, that is so cool.
Because now just obviously I grew up with Winnie the Pooh in English, who is done by the just indomitable Jim Cummings for the voice, and now I try to imagine his voice as Monokuma, and it's like that would be so disturbing.
That'd be so disturbing. I definitely have to agree with Crow. I think Crow's right. The best character
Fi.
is definitely Fi. Yeah, the white-haired girl. She's pretty great.
Do you think that you would survive very long in a death game? Do you think that you'd be able to outsmart and outwit your opponents? Or do you think that you might be one of the early exits from the game?
As I am right now. Like, if I was just
Yes.
put in, like, right now, I'd probably
Yes.
die. I feel like I would be too trusting. Like, if I was just thrown in right now, I feel
Hey, and
like,
splattered
man,
pumpkin
this isn't a good idea to trust this guy, but I am, and then I die.
Well, it's sad that that's a bad thing in those games, but it also means that you yourself are a, trusting, caring person, and that's not a bad thing.
Yes, yeah, this is true.
Now, remind me, so the Notre Games, I believe they were for the DS originally?
Yeah, so I think, 999 was for the DS, and then,
I'm seeing
I think
Zero Escape was for Windows, Vita, and PS4.
yes, I played that one on the PS Vita. Well, I played a little bit. It's funny because actually I played a little bit of Virtue's Last Reward without knowing that it was part of a series.
Oh,
And then I only played I think I played halfway through the game and I didn't finish it. And then years later, when I met Crow, we played the whole series together, and I was like, "Wait, this was part of a series?" It's really funny. The game was definitely a lot better playing it after playing the first game.
yeah, that makes sense. Now, you also reacted quite strongly when I mentioned Phoenix Wright, so I take it that's another series you enjoy?
Yes, it's so good. It's so fun. I love Phoenix Wright so much.
Yeah, I've actually just been playing through Great Ace Attorney with a friend, which is the one that recently came out for the Switch, but has been out in Japan for a while. That's, in the past for the ancestors of Phoenix Wright and everything. But I've also played through all of the original trilogy and just absolutely wonderful games. Can't recommend them enough. They're available on a lot of consoles nowadays, so if you haven't had a chance to check them out, for those of you in the chat, definitely do. That they deserve the hype that they get and more, in my opinion. That I feel like it's almost become a cult classic that for a while they didn't get the respect they deserve, but through word of mouth, the series finally started to really gain the traction, at least here in the West, that it was a lot more popular in Japan for a while, and I think it still is, but it's slowly starting to catch up in terms of popularity here in the West, I think.
I want to play the Great Ace really bad, but I don't. I'm not that caught up. I know we are on the circus.
Oh,
The
okay.
circus
So that would be game 2.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we
okay.
finished game 1. In game 2, we are on the circus one.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite characters in that series?
Oh, yeah. I love Gumshoe. I love Gumshoe.
Gumshoe
so
is just
fucking
the
much.
lovable idiot. He's got a heart of gold. He's not that good at his job, but just wonderful guy. Wonderful guy.
And then, obviously, I don't know. I feel like everybody should like, oh god, I'm blanking on his name. Yippee! Wait, oh no! The fuck? No, I don't know his name.
Is he
guy-
prosecutor or
Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? Yes. Yeah. Now, so one of the fun things, this is episode 37 of Vtuber Talk, and over time, I have guests that have some similar interests. So one of the fun things that I really get to do as a host is not quite introduce people to each other, but sort of say, hey, by the way, if you like this thing, you should talk to so-and-so. And I get to do that right now because, Pumpino, if you like Phoenix Wright and if you like Edgeworth, Suga-chan, the sheep tsundere idol VTuber, is a huge fan of Phoenix Wright, and her favorite character is Edgeworth. So you two
Yeah.
might want to connect sometime and, just talk Phoenix Wright, because she and I probably talked Phoenix Wright for 45 minutes when she was on the show.
Yeah, we made a model for Suka. I've also
Oh,
raided her before, and I raided her while she was playing Phoenix Wright.
oh, that's fantastic. Awesome. So you're already familiar with her. Yes, that's wonderful. I didn't actually know that you did a model for her.
Yeah, I made a matryoshka for her.
Well, actually,
Maybe I can
that's
show
a
it
great
off.
segue right there. Yeah, but that you and Crow together make Matryoshka models, and I would absolutely love to see them. And now I'm kind of thinking, how on earth did I miss the one that was made for Suga?
I mean, I'm not sure how much she uses it, so.
Whoopsies, we lost your visual
Oh.
for a second, but you're back.
Okay, yeah, it died for a second there when I tried to open up the thing. So Suga's though is one of our first generation, so it's
Mm.
not as good on movement as our second generation, but this is the model. It's so cute. It's so fluffy.
Yes. Okay. So I have seen others with this style, and I didn't realize that was your and Crow's work.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, and just it's very sort of swishy and bouncy. The
Yes,
other
it's
one
bouncy.
that I've seen, I'm assuming it's your work, Bat at Video Games, Moriko.
Yes.
Yeah. That she was on my show a month or two ago, and she actually used your model for a little bit.
Oh, I love Bat so much. It's so
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I'm happy to make models for everybody. It's really cool and fun, and obviously, it's a job. You get paid.
Yeah.
But it's so sad when people use it only once and then never again. And I'm like, oh. But Bat, oh my gosh, I'm in love with Bat because Bat uses it like all the time. And I'm like, oh, thank you for using it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she used it yesterday because she's actually currently, on a break, but in the middle of her monthly stream marathon that she's doing a playthrough of Pokemon Crystal with crowd control. And the way she does her marathons is that she goes for about 20 hours on, then 10, 12 hours off, and repeats that until the timer ends up running out. So that usually lasts like 3 to 7 days, depending sometimes. So definitely something for people to check out. How did you end up getting into this style of model?
So Grow likes to help people out with live TV. Likes to help people out, and he was helping out a friend of ours called Lucy doing live 2D models because she wanted to do one for her friend, and it was very simple. She's not like an extremely experienced artist, so her art was really simple, like no outlines. I think there was outlines. Wait, was there? No, wait, I don't think there was outlines. But it was kind of similar to like this style, and she had a problem putting the no outlines. Okay, yeah, she had a problem putting the eyes. She didn't quite understand the eyes, and so when the eyes moved, they would move all around the face, kind of like this.
Yeah, that's really one of the iconic things about these particular models is that the eyes are very unbounded.
Yes. And I looked at that and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see more people with this because it's hilarious.
It's a very fun, just silly little thing, and it's so different because, like you said, obviously, normally eyes stay in one place, but there's just something super amusing about them literally flying off the face like that, it's very emotive. So I guess that style just sort of wound up appealing to you and Crow. And do you recall which the first model that you made was in this style?
Yeah. Well, I think it was mine and then Felty's. I'll show them real quick. So
and I guess
this is the
people...
very first one.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I guess people just really liked it and started asking, hey, can you make one of those for me?
Actually, so I made oh wait, the wind is on this one.
Ooh.
Let's turn the wind off. There we go. That was awkward. So this is like the first one we did for somebody, and I just did this. We were going to do commissions right off the bat. We thought that this was gonna be a good idea to do commissions, so I made a commission sheet before like anybody asked me. And I made this model as a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I made 2 other ones. And
well, it's clear that you were on the right track with your thinking that people would want commissions because people have indeed wanted them.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm like, you want Ara? You want it from us? Yes.
Yeah, because it's so original, and that's one of the fun things about the VTuber community is that, well, regardless for those who are and aren't VTubers, I guess the modeling and rigging community as a whole is that there's so many different styles that there's the more traditional live 2D, I suppose, anime look, for lack of a better term. But, you know, I've seen models like this. I've seen scuffed ragdoll models. There are ones that are the Kronkos that are, you know, the very big eye sort of chibi style, and that they all have their place, and that they're so good at just conveying the VTuber's personality and still being able to be as fun and accessible regardless of what style you go with. And I think that's one of the really fun parts about VTubing, that you don't need to worry about what you're wearing or what type of style, but you can still have that style through your model in so many different ways. And you obviously are someone who uses it and takes advantage of that quite a bit, because you have, well, not counting the different outfits that you put on the model, such as the hot dog, how many different models do you have now? I feel like it's 3, but I could be wrong there.
I had 4, but now I have 3. I kind of put one in the shed. But I'll be getting a Halloween model, and I'm so excited.
Ooh, oh boy, surprise, surprise. Definitely be on the lookout for that, folks. Yeah, do you have anything fun planned for Halloween week or Halloween night?
I do. I have some really fun things being shown, I think, probably 2 weeks. So from, I don't know, probably I'm gonna show some stuff on the 20th. Probably, yeah. On the 20th of October, I'm gonna reveal some really cool, really wild stuff.
Ooh, oh boy, oh boy.
But that won't include my model. Maybe I'll make it like a really quick teaser. But I want most of it to be shown on the stream.
Makes sense. I think that this is going to be a very fun Halloween for the VTuber community as a whole, because obviously the community has grown so much from this time last year, that this time last year was, you know, right after the debut of HoloLive English, which I think really helped galvanize and just expand the VTuber community as a whole. So I'm sure that last year Halloween was already fun, that people were doing stuff, but I feel like there's just so many more people around now, and so many more people who are talented at making models or making assets, and that the possibilities this year are just that much larger. So I'm very much looking forward to these next few weeks to seeing what everyone has put together.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, for you, Halloween and autumn, just sort of seasonal vibes, are very much part of your personality and brand as Pumpino. I would guess that this is something that just, in general, IRL, that you are a big fan of fall and autumn as well?
Yes. I really like fall and autumn. A lot.
Any favorite parts? The food, the smells, the sights?
I guess all of it, like, combined. I don't think, like, there's so many... I don't think there's anything in fall that I dislike. Even the cold weather, where I am, it gets cold during the fall, and I really like that too.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm definitely a winter fall person myself. That part of it is I'd rather be cold than hot, but also just the smells in fall and winter. I guess are just it hits different for me. Do you have any particular foods? I know that it's actually about to be Canadian Thanksgiving, and that actually just later today you are going to be celebrating with your family. Do you all have any favorite foods that you like to eat at this time of year?
So I'm part of like a Canadian subculture called Newfies, which are basically just people who originate from Newfoundland, which
Mm-mm.
is an island on the east coast of Canada. Has a lot of Irish descent, so we have a lot of Irish influences. And I'm pretty sure this one thing has a lot of Irish influence called Jig's Dinner. We call it Jig's Dinner. And it's basically just like turkey, gravy, and like a bunch of vegetables just boiled and like very salty.
Ooh.
There's like and there's a few like dishes that are kind of like really common, but I can't remember the name of them. There's my favorite in this Jig's Dinner, and we have this every celebration, like Easter, Jig's Dinner, Thanksgiving, Jig's Dinner, Christmas, Jig's Dinner, and it's just the same meal over and over. And I don't know, I like it for some reason.
Is there a
But
particular combination of vegetables that's used in this, or is it really any type of vegetables? And that Jig's Dinner is based in the salting and seasoning and the preparation of the vegetables, as opposed to the specific vegetables themselves.
I think the vegetables are pretty big. I think like the interesting thing for me, especially living in, uh, not living in Newfoundland, is that they don't really have much seasoning. It's literally salt and pepper, and that's
Just
it.
salt
There's
and
nothing
pepper,
else.
yeah. Hmm.
Only salt and pepper. Where like here, a lot of the times, like we take from like other cultures. I use a lot of herbs and spices and oils and stuff like that. Uh, but I think like tubers specifically, like potatoes and carrots, usually cabbage, uh, and all of these vegetables, like all the vegetables are boiled in one pot, so they all kind
Yeah,
of
so
taste
almost
the
a
same.
stew.
Yeah, like a stew, but like separated, because you take them out and you separate them.
Yeah. Do you end up using the broth that you cook them all in for anything, or does that end up just getting usually discarded?
Usually discarded, but there is a thing that's like my favorite part about Jig's Dinner is called doughboys, which basically is just a circular ball of dough, um, that like about like the last like 20-ish minutes that you boil the vegetables, you put them on top of the vegetables, so like you got to make sure that there isn't too much water, because if a lot of the water is touching the doughboys, they're going to be really soggy. It's supposed to just meant to steam them.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so then the doughboys are steamed with like the salted water and the vegetables, and it kind of like gets all of that flavor like into these circular dough balls.
Yeah, that just
uh,
absorbs all of that stuff that is been exuded from the vegetables.
mm-hmm. That's probably my favorite, and that's probably about it. That's otherwise the water just gets discarded.
Yeah, so that's really cool. That I always love seeing and hearing about different just cultures and recipes and styles, and I enjoy whenever you're able to take different components from the preparation of a recipe and then use them in different parts of the meal.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
for you, you've actually said that cooking in general is something that you really enjoy. That you are a scarecrow
Ooh.
who loves to create things that you like to cook. You mentioned that you like to sew. We have the rigging and models, among other things. when it comes to cooking, do you is Jig's dinner something that you yourself really like to prepare, or is that something that's mostly just one that you enjoy during these special occasions and you like to actually cook other things when you're cooking for yourself?
I don't think I'd ever want to cook chicken dinner. Chicken dinner is like a 2-day preparation. It is
Mm.
massive. It is a feast. It's meant for a feast. It's really hard to make a small amount of Jig's dinner because things won't taste the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah, same reason why like some recipes, if you try to like half them or anything, they taste different. It's due to like there's a specific amount, like there's a minimum that you need to create the flavors. Uh, and Jig's dinner is definitely one of them. But it's so tedious. It's such a tedious job. You wake up so early just to get it on the table by like, I don't know. Typically, I think we eat it pretty early in the day so that like you can eat it over a period of time, and it's meant to like, you stay with your family and like talk with them for a while. So it's like
Yeah.
you need it all done by 3, and it all has to be warm and on the table and ready.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that you see in American Thanksgiving as well. And while it's not the specific meal of Jig's dinner that's being prepared, that you see a lot of similarities that people will wake up very early to prepare either the turkey or like a roast beef. One thing that my family has done for a while is my uncle makes the most amazing corned beef I have ever had in my life. And it's something that he takes all day to prepare, along with just, handmade pies and other vegetables and
I
things.
would
So,
love.
yeah, that a very nice time of year, being able to just, be with family, enjoy good food, and definitely the preparation of these feasts takes a lot of time and effort. But for when you're cooking for yourself, what do you usually enjoy making?
I've been really keen on pastas recently. Pastas and in salads. Like when before, uh, before I went and lived in my own barn, I I did not like salads. They were so bleh. And then I found out when I moved out that you can put more than just like Caesar and romaine lettuce in salad.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like was open to a whole new world, and I've been just I love salads now. Just like adding like everything into salads. Um and I really like beef. I really like steak a lot, but I am not a trained professional when I make steak. So my steak isn't that great, and when I eat steak at restaurants, even it's just not good in comparison to this really fancy steak place that I went to, and the cheapest steak was $70, and it was like perfect, and it just ruined
Oh,
steak for me.
oh no. Yeah, because just steak can be very expensive if you go to the right place, but you'll get what you pay for. And yeah, I've had that experience where if you have a particular dish done really, really well, it makes it
Mhm.
difficult to go back to lesser versions of the same dish.
Yes. So I used to eat a lot of beef, but now I've kind of moved to just eating mostly vegetable dishes. Because
And
I
it's
don't know,
not
there's something
cannibalism
about
because you're
chicken.
not a pumpkin.
Exactly. Although, you know what, if I was a pumpkin, I'd be a cannibal. I
You'd be a cannibal anyways, yes.
yeah. um but yeah, I make a lot of vegetable dishes, I think. I really like making like I think it's like it kind of gotten popular within like last year, making the whole vegetable steaks. I really like those.
Vegetable steaks?
Uh, yeah, it's basically like you prepare a vegetable in the same fashion that you would prepare a steak. You can
Mm.
use like cauliflower is a really popular one. Butternut squash. Those ones are really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just prepare it basically the exact same as the steak, and they're so good.
Nice. And you've said that one thing you really like to do is mash up different recipes and just combine either different styles, different preparation methods, and basically the creativity of it all is something that you really enjoy. Do you have any favorite mashups or ones that you feel might be really underrated?
Uh-oh.
It's a difficult question, I know, because there's so many different things.
My my memory's really bad. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. All right, we'll move on to other things, and if you remember later, you can let us know what some of your favorites are there.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, creating in oh,
I got one.
okay.
I got one. One thing that people really like to make is like beef and bell peppers. It's a very I think a very Western thing.
Yep. It's also a
beef and
very
bell
iconic thing for those who enjoy Cowboy Bebop.
And I put it in an onigiri once, and it was really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's really
Okay.
good.
Oh, wow. That I've never thought of that before, but now that you say it, it makes perfect sense because in general, I feel like most things can go in onigiri, but the
Yeah.
usual fillings that you're going to get are stuff that's either fish or sometimes it maybe vegetables like I forget like pickled radish I think is one that I've had in onigiri before, but
And plums.
yeah, and plums, but never beef. But at the same time, why not beef? Makes perfect sense.
Mm.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that sometime. Because
I think I
I
also
am
tried like a shredded chicken barbecue filling as well. That was really good.
ooh, yeah. Because in general, I eat a fair bit of rice, and I'll put beef over
Me
rice or
too.
chicken over rice, but I've just never had the thought to actually put it into a ball form.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So definitely good things to try there. And like I mentioned, creating in general is something that you really enjoy. And one thing I didn't know until we actually spoke earlier in this week was that you really enjoy sewing.
Yes, I love sewing a lot.
Is that something that you were self-taught, or was there somebody in your family that taught you how to sew? How did that all start for you?
Definitely self-taught. YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been really big into plushies. I really like
Ooh,
plushies.
okay.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to make my own.
So is this taking yarn and making just stitched plushies of knitting the entire thing, or do you take different fabrics and felts and then sew them together in the particular shapes that you need?
So I guess mostly fabrics, sewing fabrics. Knitting is really hard to make plushies with. You have to have
Yeah.
a lot of ingenuity. It's a lot easier to crochet, but I don't know how to crochet. It's funny
Mhm.
because a lot of people say that crocheting is a lot easier than knitting, but I feel completely opposite. I have such a hard time crocheting.
Ah. Do you have any favorite pieces that you've made?
I made a bat. I made a bat for Crowfit, and I really like it.
Oh, that's so cool. So, did this end up being one that was, a plushie as well, or was it just a more 2D piece?
Oh, it was wait, what do you mean?
Sorry, so I guess you said you made a bat, and then I think you said a crowfig?
A bat plushie for Crowfit.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right, that makes sense. Sorry. I misheard that. Yeah, so
That's
that plushie, that's great. Yeah. One of the other creative things that you mentioned was that you like making games and that you've done game jams before.
One. I did one game jam before.
Mm. Could you tell me a bit about that?
Um,
Because I've seen game jams. I've never participated in one, but I feel like every game jam comes with a story at the end, one way or another. That it's a super intense. Sometimes they're 12 hours, sometimes they're 24. I would love to hear about this one.
so it's a really interesting story because it was the first jam I ever participated in, and also it was like my 4th stream ever, and I
Oh
streamed the
wow!
entire thing. It was
So this
a
is early
24-hour
Pumpy.
game jam. Yeah,
Oh
it's very
my!
early pumpy. This is January 2nd. January 2nd was the game jam, and I don't know if you know who Lua Lucky is.
I've heard the name and I've seen her streams like once or twice.
I collaborated with her, so she ran the game jam, and she programmed the game, and I was on her team. She programmed the game, and I drew the art for it, and we just stayed on stream for 24 hours.
Wow!
And yeah, it was kind of hectic streaming it while also doing the game jam. Uh, we made a little mushroom clicker. Not clicker, like idle game, I guess, but clicker. Yeah, like idle, but like you can also click it to get faster, kind of like cookie clicker
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever. Yeah, we made it. It was just a bunch of little mushrooms in a cave, and my viewers were I love my viewers during that because that's actually, I don't know if you've ever seen my pun counter.
I have seen the pun counter, yes. Honestly, I'm
Yeah,
kind of shocked that we haven't had any puns yet today, but I'm sure we'll get there. I'm checking right now. So Lua is on YouTube, correct? Not Twitch.
yeah, she's
All
on
right, darn.
YouTube.
Because I was going to shout her out, and then I was looking, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think she's on Twitch. Darn it. And the shout out machine doesn't work for YouTube. But yes, do check out Lua Lucky on YouTube. And I actually just Googled it, and I found the GitHub page that has the game, and it's lualucky.github.io, and just the little blurb in the Google result is a game made by Pumpino and Lua Lucky for the first VTuber Game Jam.
Yeah. It was really cool. I actually got to know Lua and about the game jam through the very first Domodachi that happened.
Oh,
I was on there as well.
I didn't know that. Okay, so that makes you, I think, the second or third
Gen Zero
person that I've
he
had that
calls
had
it.
on Domodachi's that
Oh.
when I started my show, I didn't know about Domo. Found out about him very quickly, obviously, like within a week, because I knew I wasn't going to be the first person to have the idea of doing a VTuber Talk show. I had no delusions of that. But it was cool finding Domo and also finding that he and I run our shows very differently. I love the way he runs his show. I think he does it very well for himself, but I was honestly happy that I ran mine differently from him, because I was like, okay, good. Just people will, if someone sees my show, they won't think I'm trying to copy Domo exactly. But he seems like an absolutely great guy. I think Domodachi's is a wonderful thing that he does. And yeah, that's really cool that you were able to be on that really early and be able to actually connect with someone else that you then became good friends with and were able to make this game.
Yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, so the pun counter originated from that because everybody just kept coming in and making mushroom puns. I think I heard like 50 fungi puns
Oh my
by the end
gosh.
of it. And it was really fun. My problem is that I started arting in November, seriously. Before November of last year, I wasn't too much into puns. I read different comments.
Zephron.
I wasn't too much into art. I've always been into puns. I love puns. Yeah, there's not much room. and so I didn't like. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that I still really know, but especially at the time at doing the art jam, I didn't know that there was like a certain way you should be doing art so you don't kill your body. And I just did 22. It was 22 hours straight of drawing.
Oh my
No
goodness.
breaks, no nothing. Uh, so it didn't work out very well. Had a I had a broken arm for 2 months.
Oh no.
Which sucks because I had a debut scheduled for January 20th that I had to push for February 20th because I couldn't work on any assets.
Oh my gosh. Ah. Like I said, every game jam comes with a story. I don't think I've ever heard somebody like I've heard of people being, a little bit sore after a game jam or, taking a day or two to recover because they spent 24 hours away. I haven't heard of someone actually breaking a bone or, causing that much stress on their body. Oh dear. So take it from Pumpy. Take care of yourselves when you're doing your game jams and take breaks. Make sure that you're, doing good posture. Posture check, everyone.
Not just game jams, but drawing in period. Like, you draw for like 3 hours, do some like wrist stretches, do some arm stretches, and then go back to drawing. Don't just
and I guess
draw.
Was it just the type of thing that you didn't realize that you were, putting that much strain on yourself? Was it that you were staying in one position so you didn't feel painful, but then when you started to move in other ways afterwards, that it hit you, or was it?
It took 3 days. It took 3 days for it to set in.
Oh my.
For those 3 days, I was totally fine, using my arms as normal. Like, they would get a little bit sore, but like barely anything. And then like the 3rd or 4th day hit and I was crying. I couldn't.
Oh no.
My arm was basically in a sling for the month and a half.
So were you at the doctor and they were like, what did you do? And then you're like, oh, I guess I was doing this thing for 22 hours straight.
Okay, well, will you be mad at me if I say that I never went to a doctor?
I'll be a little bit mad.
I still have arm problems to this day.
You should probably see someone about that, Pumpy. Stuff like that, like I have a couple friends who have unfortunately developed muscle and nerve issues that are artists and always see a doctor sooner rather than later because even if you feel that you've healed up in the moment, sometimes they can find things of just, a nerve might have shifted and be in a bad place that you might want to get surgery to make it so things don't get worse in the future. So be careful, take care of yourself. We want to make sure that you're able to do art for many, many years to come.
Okay, I know, I should.
So I assume that even with the after effects being what they were, that the game jam itself was a really fun and positive experience.
Yes, it was so fun. It was crazy. I mean, Lua and I were just making it like we both liked mushrooms, and we were like, oh, idle clicker sounds really easy. Let's do that. And then my chat just came up with a bunch of lore for it that we had not planned at all.
There you go. You got a writing team right here in chat.
Yeah, basically. I was like, oh shit. It was like, can I remember it? It was like we had like one little mushroom guy, and he was like a part of a mushroom kingdom, and it got destroyed. And all of his family died, and all his friends died.
Oh no, it's a tragedy.
He was just left alone. Yeah. And so then he fled to this little cave, and he was so sad that he was all alone by himself, that he started like spreading his spores and like making mushrooms in this cave so that he could build a family again.
Aww.
Yeah,
Well, at
that was
least it's a bit
glorious.
heartwarming that, at the end that he's able to make his own family again and, live happily mushy ever after.
And then Lua added in bats. And the bats can come and eat your mushrooms.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So that makes sense from a game design perspective of, you need to have sort of the antagonist or the force that is trying to oppose you. And if you're a mushroom in a cave, a bat makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would ever do another game jam or maybe even make a sequel to this particular game?
Not a sequel to the game, but I am hosting my own game jam.
Ooh, when is this?
I decided to make it a long game jam. Typically game jams are quick that you hear about, but this one is 2 months and it started in September.
Okay. Ooh, so it's already underway.
Yeah, and it ends October 30th. And I was going to do because I wanted a game jam for people who are not into game making, to give them like a chance to like learn stuff and feel like comfortable participating.
Mm-hmm.
And also my schedule's really busy.
So are you participating in this, or are you just judging in it since you're running it?
I'm also participating, and I'm thinking of I think this week this week of holding a marathon where I just make the game until I finish.
Playing a bit of catch up, I suppose.
Yes.
Just don't do too much.
Yeah, I know.
Don't want to have the repeated injury. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Are you able to say what the topic is for your game this time around, or is that a secret?
Oh, yeah. So every game jam has a theme, and you have to match the theme. I don't actually, I was thinking about this earlier. I actually forget where I stored the game jam link.
Oh no!
So
Actually, if you send that to me on Discord, I can actually get the link in the chat here.
I found it. I just found it. Lucky.
Yay!
So the concept is, it's supposed to be a spooky game with a twist. So there's something that happens in the story that the viewer is not supposed to expect from the start.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so that's the theme. So you can make your game, and it can be on any platform. It can be like however you want, as long as it's a spooky game. And people are asking about, like, does it need to be scary? It doesn't need to be scary. It just needs to fit the aesthetics of spooky. Like, it can even be like a cute spooky.
Yeah, it can be Pumpino brand spooky.
Yeah, and as long as it's, the story has a twist.
Mm-hmm. How far along are you with yours? Do you have the basic stuff set up and that you're just working on the art, or is this marathon that you're going to be doing really beginning from scratch?
Beginning from scratch. I mean, all I have is the ideas. I have the ideas. That's it. That's it.
What's the idea?
It's gonna be a puzzle game. The puzzle game has 3 rooms. Basically you're Pumpino and you're stuck in the barn, and you have to get out of the barn. And these 3 puzzles are
barn escape game.
Yeah, barn escape game.
That sounds very fun. Definitely gonna want to check that out. And I'm not going to ask what the twist is, because that feels like something that people should wait and actually play the game for. And if you want to see that in progress, you'll need to tune in for the game jam, or for Pumpino's marathon when she makes hers, and yes, that will be very fun.
Yes.
Now, hopping around a little bit, mentioned earlier that anime is something that you and I definitely have in common. So I suppose first, blending a couple different things of your enjoyment of spooky stuff, horror, psychological, that you are a fan of Junji Ito and some scarier anime.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like. I'm
Well, I suppose
going
Junji Ito is
to-
books and manga, but close enough in this case.
Yes. The reason why I like his kind of stuff is it's not just like horror for the sake of horror, but it plays on like psychological fears,
Mhm.
more than just straight up horror, and that's what I like. I like things that kind of are scary, not because they're only visually scary, but also the consequences and just the concept of it is scary.
Do you have a favorite story by Junji Ito?
No.
I know they're actually adapting Uzumaki. I think it's being done by Adult Swim, actually. They released the initial trailer a little while ago. So that's definitely something that you and Junji Ito fans have to look forward to in the future. I think it'll be coming out sometime next year.
There is an anime that was based on Junji Ito's short stories.
Ooh, nice.
That
I must
is
have missed that one.
already been out for a while.
Oh, wait, now I'm remembering. Yeah, because Crunchyroll had that one, I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, Crunchyroll had it.
Yeah. I also remember, I think it was them that they did an interview with Junji Ito and had him rate scary cats. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one, but it's
No,
very
I
fun to
didn't.
see this master of horror talking about small kitties.
Ah, it's so cute.
It's definitely a fun one. I'll have to send you that link later. But
Mm,
for
um,
horror and anime beyond Junji Ito, do you have any favorite horror series in that realm?
um, it's so hard. It's like, what constitutes as horror?
Okay, I'll broaden it a bit. In that case, to anime as a whole, there are a couple that I know you and I have in common, but you can bring up any anime that you want right now. Like, what's a fun one that you want people to know more about?
Well, so how my brain works, how my flame works is that the most recent thing that I've enjoyed is the first thing that comes to mind, which is I can't get Platinum End off of my mind, my flame. I don't know if you've ever heard of Platinum End.
I heard you actually mention it on the stream just earlier today. It's one that's actually beginning to air right now, right?
Yeah, there's only one episode out. It's being adapted from a manga. And it's basically well, I don't know.
So I'm looking it up right now. It's written
I just
by Tsugumi Oba and illustrated by Takeshi Obata, who are very well known for definitely not a horror one per se, but that's the duo behind Death Note.
it makes a lot of sense. Very Death Note vibes.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this one that it's a supernatural one with some horror, and looking at the synopsis, it sounds like a death game one, so very much up your alley.
Yeah, it's very much up my alley, and I'm just like so excited for it.
Oh yeah, like looking at this, it sounds like. Did you ever watch, what was it called? Future Diary?
Yes.
This sounds a bit similar.
Very
That
much alike.
that God will retire 999 days, and there's 13 candidates, and it's basically a death game to decide who will become God, and that has a lot of parallels to Future Diary, but then you add in Oba and Obata, so that sounds like a very interesting one that I haven't actually watched anything from the new season yet. That I was planning on really actually starting that tomorrow. But I watch a good like 7 to 10 shows per season, so this will very likely end
Yeah,
up being one of the ones that I watch actually.
there's some really good ones and also some really weird ones. Kuro and I have been like going through them, and there's this one that's there's a genre of, not genre I guess, but a style of singers called Visual K. I don't know if you know what that means. Yeah, it's like
It's one I'm familiar
very
with.
comparable to drag in Western culture.
Yeah. Sorry, that it's musicians and bands that I guess maybe a combination of drag, also sort of a combination of like almost punk rock style, I suppose.
Mm.
And
It's like
I read
very
through all the synopses.
androgynous.
Yeah. And I read through the synopses of all the different shows that were airing this season. I remember seeing one specifically that called out Visual K.
Yeah, it's called like Visual Prison. That's the name of it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's I don't think it's romance. I do not think it's romance, but it feels very shoujo, I guess. It feels very shoujo boys love vibes that I get from the show, but I don't think it's a romance series.
Yeah, I'm
But,
actually looking
I
it up
feel
right now. Ooh, it's done by Studio A1. That
I feel like
they
the
do some
entire time
really good
Pro and
stuff.
I were watching, we were just kind of like really confused.
Yeah, that the premise, according to Wikipedia, is in the story, vampires masquerade as Visual K musicians, and once a year they gather in Harajuku for an event known as Visual Prison, and that it's, musical battles with vampires. So, like, that's a bunch of really interesting, different pieces of, it's a music anime, but with vampires, but they're having battles with their music. So
Yeah.
that sounds like just very over the top, but very fun.
Yeah.
Now, another one I know you and I both enjoyed this year, and honestly, one of my picks, at least thus far, that as far as the anime year goes, that it's winter, spring, summer, fall. So we're starting now the last season of the anime year. One of my picks for anime of the year came out in the spring season, and that was Odd Taxi. And oh my gosh, I guess I'll let you take most of it, but I suppose the best way that I would describe Odd Taxi is as it's a noir mystery thriller that it feels like something. I'm not sure if you're familiar, if you've seen films by Quentin Tarantino, but it feels like what would happen. It feels like if Tarantino made an anime, that he would make Odd Taxi.
I could see that.
That it's a lot of dialogue, and there's many different characters. There's some twists, and that just, it's a very unique and detailed story. And yeah, just can't recommend it enough. But for you, what were some of your favorite parts of Odd Taxi?
I love like one of the biggest antagonists of the series, the hedgehog.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, the rapping hedgehog
So
porcupine thing
good!
was amazing. And props to whoever wrote the subtitles, because whoever wrote
Yeah,
the
they did really
subtitles made
good.
it. Yes, Yano, thank you.
Yeah, no.
That the subtitle rap that Yano speaks in, so he speaks in rhyming rap in Japanese, and whoever did
and he
the
rhymed in
subtitle
English.
translations had it so the English was still rhyming at the correct meter, and that's never going to be a direct translation. You're going to have to do some sort of wordsmithing there to make it work, but they did.
It's really cool, and I'm happy that they introduced him. Like, I really like the build up of him. I think it fit really well, and I'm so glad that they introduced him like farther into the series, because I think that he would have gotten annoying if he was in like early. I think
I could see that.
their
Yeah, that he
timing on
doesn't
his
overstay his
character
welcome.
perfect. Yeah, yeah, I think the execution was really good.
Yeah, and just all the characters are very unique in that some of them have sort of archetypes, but they have a lot more depth than the average anime character that Otokawa, the main character, is. He's someone that, as a viewer, you don't really fully understand until the end. That you're able to. I feel like he's a very accessible protagonist, but it's almost like you forget how little you know about him as the story goes on.
I definitely agree with that. You definitely don't realize like how little you know about him, even though he's the main character.
Yeah. But it's a really gripping story. I feel like we can't talk about it too much without going into spoiler territory
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's so built on its twists and reveals and the development of the characters. But absolutely suggest Odd Taxi. Definitely one to check out.
And yeah, Netflix is definitely pulling out some really cool animes lately. Like
Yeah.
Witcher and Castlevania. Shit, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Great Pretender last year was one of my favorites of the year.
Great Pretender. I really like that one too. It's so good.
That one's sort of like a heist anime that, think along the lines of Ocean's 11, National Treasure, and stuff like that, where it's the not quite gentleman thief archetype, but just, thief and heists for good. So actually kind of like Lupin.
Yeah. Wait, isn't it Lupin?
I've seen it both ways. It's spelled Lupin. I think it's Lupin for like French pronunciation, but both work for sure. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Have you seen the TV series for it on Netflix? The live action?
For Witcher?
No. Lupin.
No, I didn't know there was a live action for it.
Yeah. There's
What?
2 seasons out already.
Okay,
Kuro and
I
watched
missed
the
this.
first season. It's good. It's
Oh heck!
good.
I'm gonna need to
Like,
watch this because
really
I know Lupin Part 6 is airing with this season, which is actually gonna have. It's basically a crossover with Sherlock Holmes. It seems.
good. I've never watched the anime.
Well, so the good part about the anime is you can pick it up at any time. That even though it's Part 6, you really don't need to know anything about Parts 1 through 5. That I actually just started with Part 5 a couple years ago. Hadn't seen 1 through 4, and it was great.
Oh yeah, it's not based on the anime.
Mm.
It's just based on Lupin himself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely have to look into that one as well.
Highly recommend it.
Another
It's
series I
more
know.
of a-
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say that instead of like how the anime is like doing a lot of like singular missions, this series just goes over one kind of heist, I guess. Like one kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
One overarching story and heist.
Yes. And it's really good.
Yeah, I like those as well because you're able to really get the full details and, just sort of really savor the story.
Yeah, it's good to have like a balance, like having like shows that you watch that are like that, and also shows that are more like singular.
Yeah. Another one that I know you enjoy, which I suppose it has elements of horror, but it's also just very shonen. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess the horror thing is very subjective. For me, in my experience of horror, I definitely wouldn't say it's horror.
Yeah,
But I can see
it
there's
has
some
these
parts where
elements.
people would say that.
Yeah, especially like in some of the first ones where, it's the vampires and the masks and there's it's not like terror type of horror, but maybe gothic is almost the better term. I'm not sure, but anyways,
I can
most people know
definitely
about
see
JoJo's.
the gothic thing.
Mm. Kua in the chat says, my favorite horror thing is Pumpino's neck.
Have you ever had the chance to see that?
I have not.
I
And
don't
I've been
have
to a
that
fair number of your
model.
streams, so I'm not.
It's an old one. It was
Okay.
when I was still using my more, I'd like to say like it's a more anime-esque model. And that has the neck, and it's basically a neck that extends. Kind of like there's a Japanese myth person. I don't remember her name, but she can have like a really long neck, and it kind of looks like that.
I'll have to hopefully see that neck keynote. Well, I suppose you haven't really stuck your neck out in a while then.
Yeah. I don't stick my neck out anymore. But I'm hoping, I'm thinking of adding it to other models.
Ooh, okay. So whatever this horror is, we'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yes.
When it comes to JoJo, which part is your favorite?
That's
Or
so hard.
which season, rather?
It's still, I mean, part 2 is in season 1, technically, but they call it part 2 because it is a different JoJo. No, listen to her, it's 2? Okay, then I guess it's not 2. Piece of shit. I was gonna say 2, you... But yeah, part 2, Phantom Blood? Shit, I don't remember. Battle Tendency? Shit, I don't remember.
Oh, don't worry, I don't know all the names either.
I think it's Battle Tendency.
What about part 2, whatever its name is, sticks out in your mind most? Is it something about that particular
Definitely
JoJo? Is it
Joseph.
something that it's Joseph?
It's specifically Joseph. Joseph is so good. Oh, Battle Tendencies. Okay, yes. Joseph is just, he's an amazing character. Holy shit. In his youth. And the fight that he has with Dio is not Dio. Shit, my bad. Right, he doesn't fight Dio. The fight that he, God, what are they? The antagonists, I think, are my favorite antagonists. Like, Dio's cool. I still think that part 2's antagonists were better. Though they were called the Pillarmen, and there's 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
They're Joseph's interactions with the Pillarmen and the big fight with the boss at the very end. Like, I don't think that I could ever see anything being topped by that for me. Like, it was just, oh my gosh. And then also Speedwagon is in part 2, and I just love him as a character so much.
Yeah, JoJo has so many just
ECDC.
standout characters, really.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, when it comes to media, period, it's always the characters for me. I'm just really interested in the characters rather than the setting or the story. For me, like, I will be interested in the setting and the story if I'm interested in the characters.
Yeah.
But if I'm not interested in the characters, then the show doesn't really have much value to me. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
For me, it'll always come back to the characters.
Yeah. Well, I know you have your dinner with your family lined up, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Just have a couple last things to cover. One that we didn't have a chance to talk too much about, but I know is very near and dear to your heart, is Firefly. So I'd like to let you... Yeah, see? I'd like to let you rant about Firefly for at least a little bit.
Firefly is one of those ones where the characters are just so amazing. Kua, shut the fuck watch it every year, and every year I can see different stuff, and it's like every scene is like a fucking masterpiece. Like you can pause every second, and you can look at it and dissect it and understand what like they're trying to tell. Like every scene tells a story, and if you pay attention to it, you can see like the flow of stuff, and you can understand things about the character that if you're just watching it really fast, or it's like your first time watching it, you won't fully comprehend until you watch it again. And there's so much like metaphors and symbolic meanings, and the characters, they jump off of each other so freaking well. Like if you were to ask me what my favorite character in Firefly is, I don't have one. I don't have a favorite character. The entire cast is just like, they're so perfect together. I've never seen like a cast of characters that have been combined so perfectly and jump off of each other so perfectly. And I just love it so much.
Is there what's something that you noticed on your most recent rewatch of it that you hadn't realized before?
Definitely like I think I paid a little more attention to the symbolic and more like religious meanings that some of the scenes have, especially when they include Shepard, who is a priest or a pastor aboard the ship. There's a few scenes, especially with Inara, which is very interesting because Inara is a sex worker, because sex working is very legalized and very popular in the Firefly universe. And so there is like a disconnect between Shepard and Inara because of their differing views. But there's some really good scenes together that really like showcase the duality of it all, and it's so good.
That's a series, like I've seen the first couple episodes, but I've never gotten around to finishing it, and it's like on the list of nerdy things that I haven't seen, it's a top 5 thing I need to get to.
Yes. I mean, I will admit that the last time I just watched it, I didn't pay as much attention as I usually did because I was watching it with everybody. So there is like an added level of like,
yeah. Was there anybody that was watching it with you that pointed out something that you hadn't realized before?
No. No.
Pumpy is the expert.
Most people were new to the series.
Okay. Well, if you ever end up doing another watch along, let me know. I don't know what happened, but we're back. I will edit that together in post, make sure that for the YouTube release of everything that we'll just have a little fade between the two. That was weird because my Wi-Fi didn't go down. It was just OBS that crashed out for a second. Okay, weird. But glad that we recovered. We're back. Who says, can't believe Fireflies took over the stream and destroyed it. That it was just too much passion, too much energy, too much excitement.
I was gonna say that I was gonna make it so that we watch it every February.
Okay, all right. So I will be looking forward to next February.
Yes! I stream it all in the Discord.
Yes. Now, before we go, last couple questions that I ask all my guests. Do you have any goals that you want to accomplish by the end of the year? That there's, about 2.5 months left. So there's the game jam, but are there any other goals or sort of just accomplishments that you are actively trying to hit before we reach 2022?
Yeah, I guess it's not entirely not perish. This is true.
Not perish. Yes, that's always a good goal.
I am moving. I'm moving countries.
Oh my, big move.
What?
I said big move. That's a big move.
Yeah, I'm looking to move to Mexico.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, that's definitely a good goal of just making sure that move goes smoothly. I'm guessing that'll mean that you'll probably be taking a break for probably a couple of weeks. No?
No, probably not. Well, Twitch is my income. So if
Mm,
I take a break from Twitch, I no longer get any money.
gotcha.
So, which is the reason why I can move. Streaming on the airplane. No, I won't be streaming on the airplane, but it will be a flight stream. I, um, but
Maybe we get
I
some
will.
Twitter Pumpino content with like your model on an
Yes.
airplane or something.
Oh yo, hell yes. It'll be November 29th, 28th.
Okay, so about a
November
month and a
28th.
half from now.
Yes. And it'll be really cool because I'm actually meeting some people that I met through VTubing on the way there because I will be having a layover
Oh, that's so
before I get to
exciting.
Mexico. Yeah, and it's a 17-hour layover. So
Okay, yeah, so that gives you time to, go out, get some food, maybe explore the city for a little bit.
I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, I definitely hope you enjoy that. And then the last question, one that I ask all my guests, is what does being a VTuber mean to you? And that's not what does it mean to be a VTuber, but to you, Pumpino, what does it mean to be a VTuber? That some people have had a very sort of professional response and been like, it's a tool for me to create content. Others have had a more personal one where it's, it lets me get in touch with my inner child, or it lets me be someone that I can't be in real life. So there's no wrong answer to it. But for you, Pumpino, what does it mean to be a VTuber?
I think it's definitely memes, dreams, and wins. I think it's definitely a community for me. I really like having a community that, or not having a community. Sorry, about having a place where people can come and just have a family for people who don't really have one themselves. I've always wanted to make a community that was really open and welcoming and just have a place to be where they may not have one in real life. And just like a place to share like things that they want to do in life or achievements that they're accomplishing, because I think that when you can share your progress with somebody else, it makes that progress feel so much better and makes you want to accomplish more. And also like give you a safe space for you to grow. And there's just so many people out there that don't have that space, and that's the kind of space I want to give.
And I think you are definitely succeeding in that regard. That Game Jam is a perfect example of allowing people to grow and learn and do different things. Thank you, Stream Elements, for saying that I am now live. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Stream Elements.
But anyways, that the Game Jam is a perfect example of that, and just you've definitely fostered a really good community on your streams and on your Discord, and that in general, one word I think that really describes your style and your streams is warm. That you're just a very warm, upbeat person. You are always very welcoming when new people come into your streams, and that you're always putting a smile on people's faces.
Heck, I'm glad.
Oh gosh, I wish we had more time, because I'm now also realizing that there was some art that we weren't able to share. But
Right.
yeah, that you had these two amazing gifts. That one of them was of Poppy, who was a past guest of mine. That you're the third member of Fantasy Inc. to be on the show, because I've had Poppy, I've had Cabal, and now had you. And just everyone from Fantasy Inc. is absolutely wonderful.
Like,
Definitely
right now,
check
real
them out.
I said you can share the Poppy one.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's
if you want.
hop over just for a little bit, even though I don't want to keep you too long. But so this is actually the other one. Who is this?
Inoue Celeste.
Inoue.
She was the one who, Inoue Celeste channel. I can type it in. Inoue. Oh my god, can I remember this? Inoue Celeste channel. I don't know if that's spelled right, actually.
I think that was it.
No.
Might not have been. Well, this is a fun one because at first it seems just sort of like a bit of a crazy stare, but then you have that third eye blinking, and then you have the upside down crosses as well, which is super fun, super creepy, and like I feel like you really captured the mood here.
I'm glad. Ooh, I really like the creepy stuff.
One second, I'm trying to see if I can get that link so I can share. Is she on YouTube as
Twitch?
well?
Yeah. No, she's on Twitch.
She is on Twitch. She is on Twitch. Right,
What? Isn't that? Didn't I rate it the same? What the hell?
Yeah,
It's
I
the
thought
same.
CESTCH. That's weird. Huh.
Oh.
Well,
I can maybe the shout out.
something about Cloudbot is not acting up right now. But anyways, that do check out Celeste. That this is a super cool piece, and the other one, like we mentioned, gotta bring this one up.
It definitely has the channel. I know for sure that she has the channel on her Twitch. I think it's just the bot itself, because usually it'll bring you a message saying, "Oh, there's nobody here" or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Probably would.
Yeah, and this one I know about because Poppy's favorite Pokemon is Haunter. He actually has a tattoo of Haunter, which he mentioned when he was on the show with me. And so as soon as you sent me this one, I was like, oh, I get this one. This one's really fun that it's, the two of them, the big extended tongues and just sort of the spookiness. And I love the addition of that neon sign in the corner.
Yeah, Poppy I find like Poppy really likes that like bright pink, the neon pink thing on his reference sheet. A lot of the stuff is written in like neon. So I thought that it'd be a cool addition. And I did this for him reaching partner.
Yeah. Oh wow. So and what's cool about these two pieces is that they're very different. That this one, you have the blinking lights and sort of the bright pink and purples going in, but then on Inoue's, you have it's more of a sketch style, but then you have that red eye peeking in and the white crosses. I know people are able to see you sketching and doing different art on your channel. You do a fair number of art streams, and it's really cool that you obviously have your more intense styles here, but then you also have the Matryoshka ones, which are just curvy and round and bouncy. So a lot of diversity there in your style. But yeah, so I'm very glad that we got to at least peek at these for a minute. But now I will actually let you go so you can be with your family. Do you have anybody that you would like us to raid before we head out? Who's up right now?
How long has Envoy been streaming for? Hold up.
While you're looking at that,
for 3 hours. Hey, he's only been on for an hour and a half. It could be Enrico Zenitani. I don't know if you've ever heard of Envoy before.
I haven't, but I would love to check them out. So just send me their name in Discord. That way I can make sure to.
Oh crap! I just sent it on the stream.
Whoops. Well, that works too. ENRICO Zen Itani. So I'll get that all queued up.
On Twitch? She used to be.
Maybe she switched
to YouTube.
Possibly. Okay, well, at least that explains why that didn't work. But
okay, that's interesting.
So Pumpy, thank you so much for being on the show today. I know it was a little shorter than we'd have liked, but you have to leave for happy reasons, and that's good. And I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Thank you for having me so much.
Oh, it was absolutely my pleasure, and thank you to everyone who is in the chat right now. Demon Queen Vivi, I see you. Thank you all so much. Yeah, because Vivi is another member of Fantasy Inc., if memory serves, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for coming today. Vivi, thank you very much for the follow. If you all care to see more interviews, I do different interviews every weekend, so you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter. But if you aren't already, be sure to follow Pumpino because she does wonderful, wonderful work, super entertaining, super fun, as you've been able to see today. So be sure to check her out, top priority. And we will see you all next time. Pumpy, you have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I hope to see you many more times in the future.
Yes, me too.
Alrighty, well, we are going to head out, but then we're going to raid Enrico, so stand by, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in.